Hi, this is Mark from Wiki Design. In this WooCommerce tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up multiple shipping rates based on your customer's cart totals. So in this example, you can see if I just have one quantity of $18, it's this flat rate. But if I increase this to, let's say, 5, that's going to change to a different rate. And then let's say, for example, if they go over a certain amount, in this case, it's $100, there's going to be free shipping right here. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to pull this off. The first way is the native way to do it inside of WooCommerce. There is major limitations that way. Then I'll show you a plugin that can pull this off. And then my favorite way is I'm going to show you how to add a code snippet where you can manually just have a code to be able to take control over this situation. So let's just jump into the back end and get started. So now we're jumping into the backend settings inside of WooCommerce. So if you just jump into WooCommerce, your shipping, and right here underneath our shipping zone, we don't have anything in here. So let's go back to the cart page real quick, and I'll just show you if I hit refresh, it should say that there's no shipping options. So if you're using the native WooCommerce way to pull this off, you can only have one flat rate and then like free shipping. So you're not going to be able to do multiple flat rates and free shipping. So that's the major limitation, but I recommend this route if you only need one flat rate, and then once it gets to a certain amount, let's say $100, then you can do free shipping. So let's just call this shipping, and then let's just do everywhere. Just keep this nice and simple. And what you need to do is add both of them underneath your shipping methods right here. So let's go ahead and do a flat rate and then hit continue. And then let's go ahead and add free shipping rate inside of here. Just hit continue. And then you could say right here, the requirement, let's do minimum order amount, and let's just make it kick in at exactly $100. So if someone has $100, it will be free shipping. Anything under that, we need to give it a value. So underneath your flat rate, you hit edit. And then you just, this is going to be what it's going to be called on the front end. And let's just call this $10. And then hit save. So now let's go back into the cart, and then you have to always do testing when you do this. So if I go in and hit 50, you could see right here, what it's going to do is give the option to have free shipping or a flat rate. So there is one setting you can do inside of WooCommerce to disable that, because that is very confusing, because if a user is going to have the option, you don't want it to like default to flat rate right here. So this was a bad user experience. But they must have already thought that through, because if you go underneath your shipping settings, they have this button right here. It says hide shipping rates when free shipping is available. So go ahead and hit save. And then when you go back to the cart, it's not going to have that flat rate. It's just going to default to free shipping. And then let's just change this back down to 1. And it should have a flat rate of 10. So you can see right here, this is all working correctly. So one thing I want to note is with WooCommerce, it can get a little confusing. And when I was doing this tutorial, I did come across something. So let's go ahead and let me start this over and show you. You want to make sure that you have everything all within one zone. So what I mean by this is, let me go ahead and just call this one like flat rate. When I first did this, this is what I would assume would be the flow. So someone would go into here, and what I'm going to do is just tag all of United States. So if I just go ahead and click United States and then hit save, and then down here you add the shipping, and let's do flat rate. And then if I hit edit, let's just do it to $10. So if you hit save right here, then my initial thought was like, okay, I go back into the shipping zone and then add another zone for United States. And let's just call this free shipping. So I'm showing you this. This is the incorrect way to do it. So if you do it this way and it's not working, that's just how WooCommerce is. I don't know why they do it like this, but let's go ahead and enable that. So it's all of US. And then let's do free shipping, continue, and let's just do the same thing. Minimum amount is 100. Hit create. And if you go back into your shipping zones, we have 2 shipping zones. We have a flat rate United States and free shipping United States. Okay. So if I go ahead and hit refresh, you can see right here, it's already not working correctly. So it should be free shipping because it's over $100. So if I go back down into 1, hit update, it doesn't work. And so I originally was like, okay, if I just click and drag this one up here, that might work. And then if I hit refresh, you're going to see it doesn't know what to do. So if I go into here and add 100, the free shipping will work. But then if I go back down into 1 right here, it doesn't work. So after doing some research, you do not want it to look like this, because what it is you can only have one zone for like each region. So in this case, all of your shipping has to all be included underneath this one zone right here. So it's only going to take into account, I believe, the very first one right here. So that's why in WooCommerce, anytime you move these zones around, it's taking priority. So whatever's on the top takes priority. And then you can only assign like one shipping thing per zone. I know it's very confusing. So you want it to look like this, where it's free shipping, or you can call a zone whatever. But then inside of here, you need to add your two different shipping methods. So if I go into here, then you can go back in and add your flat rate and then have it go right here and then just make it $10. So again, you just kind of want to make sure it looks like this, because if you're not in WooCommerce very often, this is how it needs to look. And then you go ahead and hit save. And like I said, it's all within this one shipping zone. So anything inside the US is now going to work. So it should be, if I had 19 of these, it should go to free shipping now. Okay, so like I said, this is the approach that you can take if you need one flat rate and then one free shipping. Now, if you need multiple, there's two different ways you can do it. You can either do a plugin, which I'm going to show next, or you can do a code snippet, which is what I recommend. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you the plugin option and then what you can and can't do within this plugin. So this is the plugin right here. It's called Table Rate Shipping Method for WooCommerce by Flexible Shipping. So there is a pro version of this, so you can go ahead and see if you're going to need the pro version. Gives you a lot more like dynamic conditions. You can see right here, you can ship based off of like the volume of the products, the dimensions, user role. So there might be cases where you will need the pro version. But in this case, I'm going to show you how you can use the free version and pull off, let's say, 2 flat rates and then like a free shipping. So now we can jump over into the WooCommerce shipping settings again and enable this plugin. So go into Add Zone. And let's just call this like free shipping. You can call this whatever. Then to make this tutorial simple, we're just going to keep the region at everywhere. So we're not going to be tagging like North America like I just showed you. Then you're going to go ahead and click Add Shipping Method. And now you should see this new option called Flexible Shipping. Go ahead and click that. And then when you hit Edit, it's probably not going to work. So you probably have to go up here, just like delete the last letter and resave the page now. And now you can go ahead and click Edit. And then inside of here, this is what's going to show on the cart page. So underneath here, this label where it says like free shipping, this is where it's going to show just like where I just showed you. Okay, so now if you scroll down, let's keep all of this by default. But as you can see right here, now we have conditions. So this plugin's pretty nice. It gives you 2 different conditions with the free version, price and weight. If you need more advanced stuff, you're going to have to get the pro version. But let's go ahead and say if it's from 0 to, let's say, 50 bucks. Let's make that cost $10 for the flat rate. Then this is where this plugin comes in. You can do a second rate. So if it's from 51 to, let's say, $100, the shipping cost is $5. Then we need to add a free one. So let's go ahead and say price. If it's from 101, you can leave that blank and then just hit 0. And now let's go ahead and hit save. And then I like to do a test on these 3. So let's go back into the cart. And if I hit refresh, you can see right here, it's free shipping because it's over that $100. So let's go into 1. So this should say $10. So flexible shipping is 10. So that label right here where it says flexible shipping, that is what you need to change right here. So if you want that to be just called shipping or something, you can do that. Hit save, and then we'll get rid of that word flexible. So this is one limitation I've found with this plugin is if you need, because right here it says shipping, then it says shipping, and then shipping to, there's too many like shipping. So if you need to change this, you're probably going to use some sort of JavaScript to hide that. I haven't figured out how to do that, inside the free setting, so you might not be able to do it with the free version. But you can go ahead and just keep that there, and let's do another test. If we bring that up to like 5, it should be $5 now. So you can see it's $5 for the shipping because it's under the $100. And while you're still inside of here, if you want to be able to change the free shipping label, so this is what's going to appear right here in these parentheses, you could go ahead and change that. So you can just say like free, that's where that word is right here. So they do give you the option to change that label, but as far as I know, you can't change this label just for the free. So whatever it's called up here, that's what's going to have to show on the cart page. And then one thing I noticed is underneath this free shipping threshold, let's say you go ahead and increase that to 101. And if you hit save changes, I did see this new box come up. So this is a notice. It would tell you how much more you need in order to get the free shipping. So this notice will probably get shown on the website. So if I go ahead and just click that, hit save, and if I go back up here, I'm already in the free shipping. So let's just go ahead and hit 4. And then you can see there's an alert. You only need $29 for free shipping. So if you want to have that option, they do give you that, all free, which is pretty nice. So you can always go ahead and change that message here if you want. But that's how you can do it with this plugin. Like I said, there are some limitations, but if you need like a whole bunch of flat rates and then a free shipping, this could work out perfect. I would say the only limitation really would be this label right here. So you can use CSS to either hide it or maybe use JavaScript to change that up. But now I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can do exactly what we just did, but using a code snippet. So if you don't already have a way to add code snippets to WordPress, this is the plugin I recommend. It's just called Code Snippets right here. Just go ahead, install and activate this. And I'm going to go jump back into my shipping and I'm going to erase everything. So as you can see, we still have this old one in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit delete. So I'm going to make it where I'm going to have a code snippet that will override all of this stuff. So you don't have to touch WooCommerce or any plugins. So this is going to be a little more advanced, but it's going to give you more granular controls because these plugins that I just showed you, it's basically just doing exactly the same thing that I'm going to be showing you with the code. But like I said, it's going to be a lot more like lightweight and you don't have to deal with anything. So once you have the code snippets installed, you're going to see this new tab called Snippets. And on this website, I have a whole bunch of them. This is like my testing website. So I have this one right here called Cart Shipping Rates. So I'm going to leave this code in the description below. So you're just going to go ahead and copy that in, paste it, and then you're going to hit save and activate once you give it a title. And as you can see, what I did right here is this code's very lightweight. This is all like integrated right into WooCommerce. So there's no like bloated code. So what it's saying, if it's less than or equal to 50, the shipping cost is 10. And then this is what I like is you can control those labels that I was telling you about that you really can't change in the plugin. You can just change that all right here. So you can have a special label for just the first one, a second label, and then the free shipping. So then the next argument is saying if it's less than or equal to 100, make it $5 flat rate. And then anything else beyond that is 0 cost and then free shipping. And as you can see right here, what it does is that code's going to make it a separate line item. So you can see right here, it's called flat rate $5, and it's just sitting underneath all of the shipping information. So I like this a lot better because it's like its own line item. So now if I go into one, you can see right here, if it's less than the 50 bucks, it's $10. If I made it, I believe 6, it should go to, it's over $100. So let's go ahead and just change that. So free shipping works. So it's free shipping $0. So if I go into the 4, this will put us at the $50 rate. And so you can choose $5. So like I said, that label, if you want to change that label for, let's say, just the $5 one, you could always change that right here. I'll show you how quick it is. You could just do like this, just as like a test, to hit save, hit refresh. So now you can see it says flat rate $5. So you can make it say whatever you want. So that was one thing that I wish that free plugin had, but you can see the other one is now just flat rate. And that's it for this tutorial on 3 different ways that you can pull off these different flat rates and shipping depending on how much the cart total is. So like I said, I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you can download that code snippet I just showed you, and then you can just paste it in and change out what you need. So that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching. This is Mark from Wicked Design.